Alright guys, we're back out here with the greenhouse, and right now I am working on methods to strengthen the frame so that during the winter it can withstand winds and things like that. So let me just show you what I got here. You know, I've mentioned before that my favorite thing to use in the garden is twine. I can use it in so many ways for so many different things, and it serves so many purposes. I just love to use it. So over here you see that the greenhouse doesn't have that extra bar of support like further up where the arches are at. So if you can see here where the two pieces connect, first of all there's a button there, and it's kind of serves as like a stopper. But right here there's a groove. Okay, so what I've done over here is I've gone into that groove with the twine, and I went around a few times. Then I came over here and I went to the next one, and I went around a few times, and then I went over here to the next one and I went around a few times, and so on all the way to the end. So you can see there's 4 strands of twine here. So I went back and forth about 4 times. And basically that's just going to add just an extra little bit of support for when I put the top on. And if we get snow or whatnot, then that's going to add just a little bit extra support right there for that. Okay, and then I'm probably going to go from up here, down here, and then down to the bars as well. So I'm going to go across this way as well with the twine. So that's what I'm adding right now, because I'm not going to buy any additional materials for this. Plus I have, if you can see over there by the tree, I have cinder blocks over here. I've got a bunch of cinder blocks. I've got some more inside the garden here. I've got plenty of cinder blocks that I can use, but right now I'm working on this twine, and I'm gonna go back and forth on this other side, just like I did on the on that side. Okay, so I have both sides done, back and forth with the twine on the sides horizontally. Now what I'm gonna do is, this is gonna be the back end here. I'm going to go from this point across to this point, and I'm going to go back and forth about 4 or 5 times there, because I know that's going to be the back end and that's not going to be an opening there. So I want to secure that, and then I'll go over the top parts. Alright, so I went ahead and did this side, this top part here, but then I also did this part here that connects to the rails that go on the outside here. So I just went ahead and continued that support there, went back and forth with that about 3 or 4 times, maybe about 4 or 6 times I went back and forth with that. This one I did about 5 times. So I got that connected to that, so that'll be an extra support system. Now that I got that done, I'm going to come from top to the sides with the twine. Right in between this one and that one, I'm going to come like right here in the middle, and then come down and around and back up, around, down, like that. Actually, I probably will come from here to here, around, and then down, and then around, and then back up, and then around, and then back up, and then around. I'm not going to try to go all the way from this side all the way back to this side and that side. It's just going to be too hard to keep doing that with the roll of twine. So I'm just going to do one side up and down at a time, and then I'll do that side up and down at a time. And what I think I will do is I will put a zip tie up here to make me a like an anchor point for my twine, so that it doesn't so that it doesn't want to move. Okay, so I got some zip ties down at the bottoms of each of the points where it's anchored to the frame, just to hold those spaces, you know, in place or whatever. So that's that, and I'm going to continue to do it in these other two, in between these other two gaps, just the way I did it here. Now I did go ahead, what I did was I did go ahead and do this side the way I wanted it to, and then I circled around here, and then I came on this side and did this side. So I didn't separate the twine. I didn't do one side and then cut it and then start the other side. I kept it a continuous strand. Once I went back and forth as many times as I wanted to on this side, I looped it around a couple times, and then I just went ahead and started the other side. So that's how I did that. I'm going to continue to do that through the rest of the frame. So I just wanted to point out something that I did a little bit differently on the second one that I didn't do on the first one. The first one, I came from the top, around the middle, and then down to the bottom. Okay? Now I can see that it's kind of pulling inward. Whereas the second one, I don't know if you can tell, but the second one, I went around the top. Maybe if I come inside. I went around the top, then around the middle, and then back to the top, and then around the middle, and then down. Because I wanted this to be pulled up and not down. So that first one, I went to the middle, around, and I pulled down. But the second one, I went down around the middle, and I went back up before I came back to the middle and then down. So it's a little bit higher up. You can see how this one is kind of pulling inward. Well, this one is staying out. So that's just something that I decided to change up when I noticed that those ones were pulling inward. And it's still going to serve a purpose. I mean, there's still a point of support. So, I mean, it's fine. The plastic will be kind of tight anyway, so it shouldn't even have to rest on those supports. But if, in fact, that we do get some kind of a heavy snow and it does have to rest, at least they'll have a point of support. So this last one I'm going to do just like I did the second one. That way I have this pulling up and outward instead of in. So this is the finished part of this, the finished part of the twine. You can see this is pretty tight. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys what I got, what I ordered as far as support goes. I knew that I was going to need something extra for this because I knew that it was going to be kind of, you know, flimsy, I guess you could say. And I knew that I was going to need to secure it a little bit. So what I ordered was these 12-inch garden stakes. And that's what I'm going to use to anchor this greenhouse. Now these are rust resistant, and these are 12 inches, okay? 12 inches. So that is the length of a ruler. This is going to go so far deep down in the dirt that this greenhouse ain't going anywhere. So look at that. Can you see that? Let me get this box. Look at how long those are. Now that's long, okay? I can't see this greenhouse going anywhere if I put enough of these around it to anchor it in the ground. So that's the plan. I'm going to start with all of the corners and all of the points where there are you know, beams coming down, I guess you could call them. So all along at the end on those points there. And then we'll go, you know, a couple in between. But that's what I'm going to do here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one. All right, now I believe I have it. I believe I have it in the place that I'm going to keep it. So this is it. I'm going to go ahead and hammer this all the way in the ground. Now it's going to take a while. I mean, it's 12 inches, so it's got a long way down to go. And then once that ground freezes, it is going to be hard. I mean, this greenhouse ain't gonna go anywhere. 12 inches, you guys. Okay? And I'm not gonna smash it down on there, because I'm pretty sure that, you know, I don't have to do that. So I'm going to put one on this pole here, and then I'm going to put one on this pole over here. And I'm going to do that at each corner. So I did that right here, and I did that over there. And I'm going to do it on that side and this side. The plastic that I bought to add the extra protection for my greenhouse was 4 mil. So I just kind of figured with the 4 mil plastic that I just bought and the greenhouse plastic that comes with it, that should get me at or close to 6 mil of protection. So that was my thought in that. I'm going to go ahead and get these put in. Okay, now that I have all 4 corners secured, I've got these middle points secured, and I'm going to go maybe 3 across the back end. I'm going to do one right in the middle where the little button thing is. I'm going to do one right there at that notch. Okay. And then I'm going to do one in the middle going this way, and I'm going to do one in the middle going this way, and I'm going to do the same thing on the front end. All right, corners are done. The cross brace, I guess you could call it, is done. The back and front are done. Got 3 across the back end here, and I've got 3 across this front end. So this is my frame. It's all done. It's all put together. It's all anchored down. It is supported the best that it's going to be supported. I mean, it's wobbly, but it's not going anywhere. Okay, it's not going anywhere. So what I can do also is I can take some additional twine and come down with it and anchor it in the ground with the stakes as well. Now that I can do. All right, so I did go ahead and go down and anchor it. First I hammered the stake in, not all the way, but almost all the way. And then I did my twine as tight as I could do it. And then after I did the twine, I hammered the stake down just a little bit more to make sure that it was nice and tight. So that's gonna do it for the frame. I'm gonna start working on the plastic. I have to get the 4 mil plastic measured out. Each one of these sections is just under 4 feet, and that's perfect because my plastic is 4 feet wide. I've already measured from this point up, over, and back down to that point is 19 feet. So I want an extra 6 inches on each side. So I'm going to measure out 20 feet for each panel. So I got a 20-foot strip, a 20-foot strip, and a 20-foot strip. Because then I can overlap where the poles are at. Okay? So I'm going to measure those pieces out. And I'm going to use duct tape to secure the plastics that are going to overlap each other. So they're going to overlap. So first I'm going to get my 3 strips. I'll probably have to use, some yard space, but I'm going to get my 3 strips measured out, and then I'm going to get them duct taped. Okay, I'm going to try to get as much of this done as I can because it's cooling off, it's starting to get windy, we are supposed to get some rain, and these blue jays are just screaming their heads off. Okay, so because it was so windy, I had to move this into the garage to get the pieces of plastic attached to each other. Alright, so this is the setup we have for now because it's just so windy outside. I got the one piece stretched out because I started with that piece. And then the second piece, I didn't stretch it out. I didn't open it up all the way. I just opened it enough to get the edge of it to overlap with the other one. And I have secured it in a couple places with like some poster tack. That like putty type of sticky poster tack. So I got like a little ball of that, and I tore off a few pieces just to secure that in place so that I can tape it. And then I'm just using some weights to keep the plastic in place, that's all, because it's, like I said, it's windy. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this whole strip here, I'm going to get this taped, and then I still have leftover that I'm not able to stretch out. So once I get this part done, then I'm going to scoot it down, and then I'm going to do the rest of that part over there. And that's the plan. Okay, so I got this done all the way down to where I'm going to be able to get it done. Now I'm going to fold this back over, this side here, I'm going to fold it back over, and I'm going to scoot it down so that I can start on the other side with the other strip. That way I only have to open one of the strips all the way. So before I finish the end there, I'm gonna go along the back side of the strips that I've already done. So this one here I'm gonna do the back side of, and then I'm gonna fold that over on that side, and then I'm gonna do the back side of that strip. So this back side is done. I have folded this over so I could do the back side of this one. And that's what we're going to do next. Hey everyone. So I finished the plastic. I got all of the panels, strips, whatever you want to call them. I got them all connected with the duct tape. I'm not feeling the best today. The weather change really affected my back. I mean, my back is really hurting. But I know that sitting still or laying down for long periods of time is also not going to be good for my back. And of course, when you can't, or when you are limited, that is the time when you are most eager to do things. So, needless to say, I really want to get this plastic over the top of this greenhouse. I will probably be using some things to help me, but that's the plan. I want to get this over the top of the greenhouse and secure that in place. And then I can worry about front and back, because right now this plastic here is only going to cover the sides. So of course I do have the green cover that came with it. So there's quite a bit to do, but I do want to get this plastic done and get this video finished, the series of videos finished for the greenhouse build. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to get this plastic on and secured, and then we'll measure out some more plastic for the back and the front. I got one of these reacher things. It was my grandmother's, and I just kept it. You know, that sun is really making me feel a lot better. And I feel like the more I move around, the better I feel. Alright, now I'm going to secure it on with some duct tape. Still have to do that piece up there with duct tape so it doesn't snag my plastic. Alright, I'm going to get this secured on. Alright, it's on and it's all secured. I've got duct tape all down the sides there. That's on both ends, front and back. I got a few pieces of duct tape on the inside like this. But this is going to be underneath the actual cover. So a lot of wind and snow and things, it's not going to actually touch this plastic. This is basically just another layer of protection, but I'm going to get this back end covered completely. And then the front end, I'm only going to do half because the other half is going to be where the opening is. So that's next. So here we are. We got all the plastic on and we got all of the pieces secured with the duct tape. It's not the prettiest sight, but this is going underneath my green cover. I measured out the 3 of those strips, okay? So I put one there, and then one there. And then I had a gap between. So I measured out a sheet that would fit that gap, and then I cut it. And the rest of what was left off of that sheet, I just went ahead and put on the front here. Now the corner pieces, the extra excess that I cut off of these top parts, like up here and up here and up here, those are like, they were like triangles. So I used 2 of them. I used one up here in the front, and then I used one down there in the back, and then I just measured from there down for the plastic there. I didn't want to waste, you know, anything, so I just went ahead and used those corner pieces for the tops. So this is it. So now I'm going to go get the actual cover and I'm going to slip that on. it. The only thing I have left to do now is to anchor it, and there's some Velcro on the inside that is supposed to fasten around the frame. So like here, where this is supposed to go around here and fasten to this, maybe I can try to fasten it to this instead. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah. So I was able to get it Velcro around the twine. So there's some spots where I'm not going to be able to Velcro it, but I'll figure out a way to get it on there. We'll definitely figure out a way. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. We are all finished with the greenhouse. We have 2 layers of protection, and I'm only going to use this one side for entrance and exit. I'm not going to use that other side. I'm going to put a thermometer in there and see like what the temperature ends up being. I'm not going to use the windows. It's a nice feature, but I'm not going to risk losing heat in there by cutting those plastic pieces in there just to open those windows. So it's a Velcro window, and it's like a mesh material. So maybe in the spring, I don't know, we'll see. But that is it, guys. We are all done. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for staying with me through this whole process. I hope that you guys learned something, or I hope that you guys get some ideas on how to double up the protection on your greenhouses. This is definitely a game changer for me. I am going to be able to overwinter some things and also get a head start in the spring. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below. Let me know if you have a greenhouse like this, or if you're planning to get a greenhouse like this. What do you do with your greenhouse to secure it or give it the added protection? And until next time, the more you know, the more you grow. Bye, guys.